Good Morning Blues is underwritten by Atlanta Center for Cognitive Therapy. Cognitive therapy is a model of treatment for emotional problems occurring in individuals and relationships. Mark Gilson, Ph.D., the center director, is a former fellow and faculty at the center at University of Pennsylvania under Aaron T. Beck, M.D. The center psychologists primarily offer telehealth psychotherapy services online with your computer, tablet, or cell phone. For more information, 404-842-0555 or cognitiveatlanta.com.
You are listening to WRFG Atlanta. WRFG provides a voice for those who have been traditionally denied open access to the broadcast media through the involvement of a broad base of community elements to guarantee that access. In the utilization of the station's facilities and in its programs, the following communities will receive first priority: those who continue to be denied free and open access to the broadcast media, and those who suffer oppression or exploitation based upon class, race, sex, age, creed, sexual orientation, disability, or immigrant status.
Good morning, Blues! WRFG Atlanta.
Good morning, Blues. We'll brighten up your day as you put on your shoes. Yeah, yeah. You know it's got to be the way to wake up each and every day on WRFG in Atlanta. Good morning, Blues.
Good morning, Blues.
Good morning, Blues. This is Tony O'Malley on WRFG Atlanta.
Welcome to Good Morning Blues Part 2, London to Louisiana, July the 11th. We are still under that heat dome. Oh yes, what a wonderful place to be. I don't even go outside. It's like it wears me down. I don't even want to go to the store or everything. Thankfully, I do force myself to go to the gym and maybe the pool to catch some rays and swim it off or something. But gosh, I'm tired of it. I want to go back to London. They're having a heat wave there. I think it was 68 yesterday. Hands up, who's watching the Euros? I know you are. Yes, football. Wonderful temperatures all over Germany. A very pleasant low 70s with no humidity. Just like the time I spent in California a couple of weeks ago. Lovely it was. I have a sonic smorgasbord for you today and a great guest. Mr. T. Bear will be joining us from California. A superb songwriter, vocalist, keyboard player, who attracts a fantastic array of musicians that can't wait to play with him. And he's done a lot of stuff. I mean, seriously, a lot of stuff that many of us would be glad to just dip into. You'll hear more about that a little bit later on. Let us rock into some new music, new acts, new tracks, quite a few new ones from down in New Orleans, and some new bits and pieces. So why don't we start, as we're talking about the Euros, in Germany. Yes, you wouldn't believe this band I found in the Black Forest, which is south beyond of Stuttgart by about an hour, almost down to the Swiss border. Cool it is.
It's about the way it feels to touch your skin. It's about your smell. You're the perfect sin. You're my favorite mistake. 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 You're my favorite. You're my favorite. You're my favorite mistake. At my show, she looking real fine. She danced to my music and drank a lot of wine. One night stand with her, no regrets. 2 months later, she says she's pregnant.
So you heard the German band I introduced called The Blue Deal and a track called Favorite Mistake. We'll play a bit more of them later in the show, followed by something you would recognize. Toronzo Cannon, Got Me By the Short Hairs. Chicago blues man who's got a cracking album I've been playing quite a bit of. Let's head on down to the Crescent City. I've got several newbies that I want to lay on you.
Hey, mama, dancing one more time. Hey there, mama, dancing one more time. I don't care what they told you, forget what they said. I'm going downtown, take a ride out of your head. Yeah, we're going downtown, take a ride out of your head. I hear a voice keep saying, better sail away. Little voice keep saying, better sail away. Away from way upshore, how to turn the road. Forget the tears and find out why you're here. Yeah, forget the tears and find out why you're here. Find out why you're here. So come on over, slave is better than me. So come on over, slave, but it ain't them. And when I was your lover, I thought I'd never be your man. I wish I could tell you there would never know. Yeah, come on over and be again my love. Come on over, be again my love. Come on over, be again my love. Hey, come on over, be again my love. Hey, come on over, be again my love. Said, come on over, be again my love. Yeah, now come on over, be again my love.
Across a neutral ground and past a BMC, there's a bucket drumming at 2:45. Keep your head down, but don't stare at your feet, because somebody got stabbed last night. The queen of the quarter presides over court, while the duke of the dark tries his hand at the sword. She ate him up just like the meat off a fork, and he didn't even put up a fight. Follow the river down to the side of town, where the night people go to meet. It's down on Decatur where late got later, and the sidewalk stuck to my feet. Drugs in your hand, a one-night stand, you got a reason to stay awake. There ain't no heart that likes to play in the dark, that doesn't know how to break. Sunglasses, eyelashes, dyeing her hair. She doesn't own a single set of underwear. She said it's gonna cost me $1 to stare. I put my money down. Whiskey and water, bourbon and coke. I'm drinking all my money, now I'm good and broke. I'm playing chicken with my liver, trying not to choke. Don't turn this car around. to get your thrills. Cause there's blood on the carpet, there's blood in the hall, there's blood on the seat of the bathroom stall. I'm looking at my phone for somebody to call, but I forgot to pay my bill. Follow the river down to the sides of town where the night people go to meet. It's down on Decatur where a lake got later and the sidewalk stuck to my feet. Drugs in your hand, a one-night stand, you got a reason to stay awake. There ain't no heart that likes to play in the dark, that doesn't know how to break. Follow the river.
I'm Jeff Mosier, formerly of the Bluegrass Show, Born in a Barn. WRFG listeners, supporters, and donors, you are invited to be part of the WRFG Family Reunion celebration of 51 years on the air right here at 89.3 FM. There will be food, beverages, displays of memorabilia, and photos, a WRFG trivia contest, and lots of storytelling about air shifters past and present. Everyone who comes attired in a WRFG t-shirt will get a gift. All this and more will take place Saturday, July 13th from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. at the Communication Workers of America, Local 3204, Union Hall at 279 Logan Street Southeast, just off Hill Street, exit off I-20 West. Tickets are just $10 and can be purchased online at wrfg.org or at the door. Again, Saturday, July 13th from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come celebrate 51 years of progressive information and hand-picked quality music. It's all happening at 279 Logan Street Southeast, 30312. See you there.
There is a global reconnection with Mother Nature for very practical as well as emotional and spiritual reasons. And On the Farm, in association with Level Up Academy, presents a series of classes which are imparting practical skills and life-changing mindsets to the local community. The summer cohort begins in July with classes on tincture and medicine making with Dr. Ashay on July 13th, garden planning on July 14th with Grow Where You Are, canning and preserving to be announced with Farmer Terry, and a 3-day intensive workshop on earth bag structure building with Madi that begins on July 24th. For more information, including mailing list options, the website is onthefarm.com and at Level Up Academy, ATL on Instagram. This has been another public service announcement from your listener-sponsored and supported community radio station, WRFG 89.3 FM, WRFG.org.
You're welcome to my garden of love.
Somebody just
just like you. Everybody needs somebody to be true. Let it be said, if we connect, we could make a company. It's the love affair that we respect. We could make a company. Come on, Shorty, everybody.
So you heard new stuff from New Orleans there. We began with Sean Riley and the Water and Dance Me One More Time, this great accordion-driven boogie, followed by singer-songwriter Jeremy Joyce and Lower Decatur Blues, very New Orleans piano-based. Threw in a little trombone shorty live from The Late Show and a piece called Good Company just to get some bone in there. And then the very effective guitar of Eddie Roberts with the band The Rare Sounds. Now, he's from Leeds in England, and he lives in Colorado, but he spends a lot of time in New Orleans. I see him down there a lot at different festivals. He loves to join in with everybody down there. So we got it funky, but we need to calm down just a tad. Isn't that a word you use here for something that's like relatively small? I don't know where it fits on the scale of measurements, but I've heard it used, and it seems to be applicable. We're going to have a listen to a lady that will just soothe and calm you a little and get you into a more mellow space.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Mark Broussard, and you're listening to WRFG Atlanta, London to Louisiana. Don't be eating them green bananas. Let the kids believe in Santa.
The wind is howling, the moon is wide. I know you're lonesome. Please come on inside. Please come on inside. I hear you growling. I can feel your pride. Let me ease your suffering, child. Please come on inside. Oh, please come on inside. Now come on, come in, let the healing begin. Here where it's warm and it's dry. We'll sleep into the moonlight. Gonna learn to live again by and by. The road is long, but I will be strong enough for the two of us to get by. So sleep into the morning, child. Gonna learn to live again by and by. Come on inside. Come on in. Please come on in. Come on inside. Come on in. Please come on in. It's hard out prowling. I know 'cause I've tried. It's a mean old man's world out there. Please come on inside. Please come on inside. Come on inside. Make a little promise. Learn how to die. Oh, let's go on to the levee and find true love. Listen to the brass bands through the second line. Pick a little guitar, spill a little wine. Hear the little babies whimper and cry. Make a little promise, learn how to die. Oh, I promise to be open, to feel joy and pain. The only Listen to the ocean, thunder in the sky. Feel a little empty and run a little dry. Oh, hear the little babies whimper and cry. Make a little promise, learn how to die. Oh, I promise to be open, to feel the joy and pain. The only way to make a life is to fail and try again. So let's go on to the bayou and find true love. Listen to the blues and the gospel of Jesus. Feel the summer sunshine in the southern breezes. Hear the little babies whimper and cry. Make a little promise, make a little promise, make a little promise, learn how to die.
Morning rain keeps on falling. Like the tears that fall from my eyes. As I sit in my room, staring out at the gloom. It's the rain, it's the same old blues. I can't help but thinking, when the sun used to shine on my back door. Now the sun's turned to rain. All my laughter turned to pain. Yes, it's the pain of the same old blues. Sunshine is all you see now. But it all looks like clouds by me. But as I sit in my room, staring out at the gloom, it's the rain, it's the same old blue.
Well, hopefully you had time to relax to Miss Madeleine Peyrou. I did play a track just recently the other week. That album's brand new. I think it's called Find True Love, which was the last track I played. I mixed it in with Please Come On Inside. And finally, Sierra Green and the Giants, who I've been a big fan of, and Same Old Blues. So you're all just calm down, put some tea on, and just relax a little bit. I will wake you up in a second with one of my favorite guys from London and the title track from his brand new album, Break the Seal. As we're talking about London, hands up, how many of you noticed what happened on Friday when the UK had a general election and elected a new prime minister? You know, the guy that runs the country underneath the king, blah, blah, blah. Did you notice how this all started and finished in 24 hours? And people were at polling booths all around the country, which might be a post office or a school or any place that had public access and was big enough. And they ferried the manual paper ballot boxes around in cars because everybody just got on with the job. There was no big security, etc. It was so easy, and the Prime Minister was installed the next day. No argument, no problem, no issues, done, dusted. Wouldn't that be nice if that happened here? Anyway, upwards and onwards. Let's go bring my friend Errol in to swing you in a little bit. And then we're going to have T-Bear.
Hey everybody, this is Roger Hurricane Wilson. Please join me for WRFG's Community Sessions, a singer-songwriter in the Round event, also featuring Julie Gribble and Tom Long. This is a terrific opportunity to see us in the intimate setting of a house concert with music ranging from blues, Americana, and acoustic rock. Community Sessions is Sunday, July 21st, starting at 4 p.m. in the Little Five Points Community Center, located at 1083 Austin Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia, 30307. It's the same building as the WRFG studios. Tickets are $20 in advance at WRFG.org. Community Sessions is a presentation of 89.3 FM WRFG and WRFG.org.
Somebody else will. I signed a bar, I don't wanna break the seal. me, baby. You don't love me, baby. Somebody else will. You know what's on the bone? I don't wanna break the seal. You know what's on the bone? I don't wanna break the seal. You know what's on the bone? I don't wanna break the seal.
Mr. Errol Linton and his terrific band that I see every time I'm over there. Title track from the album Break the Seal, swinging piano groove just to get you in the up mode. Now you've had a little snooze, a little sleep. I know what you're going to ask me, Bob. Yes, we've heard you talk about T-Bear, your guest today, but we're really not sure. You know I'm going to share the details with you right now. Here's what he sounds like, and then you're going to hear all about him before he comes on. Yes, of course I take care of you. It's the beauty of knowing stuff you didn't know before.
Sunsets on the city, working sweat all day. The town's all dirty and gritty, 'cause I'm living in too much light of day. But there's a refuge in the evening, and the second road by so slow. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, show me the way to go. Sunsets on the city, working it out all right. Been waiting there for something, hold on to real tight. So bring on the night, bring on the night. Here comes the night, bring it on. Everybody waits for something, when the wrong will be alright. So people wait for the daytime, me I just live for the night. And sometimes it just ain't pretty when I go out looking for my prey. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, while the blood rushes to my brain. And the sun sets on the city, but I'm working it out all right. Been waiting there for something, hold on real tight. Just bring on the night, bring on the night, bring it on.
So let me tell you about the great guest you get to enjoy today. His name is T-Bear. He's out in California, from New York, but he's been roaming around the music business for probably 40 years, but you wouldn't believe some of the things that he's been doing. I'm aware of the fact that he has played with, played for, and opened for this huge long laundry list of big names on the Blues Brothers soundtrack, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Richie Havens. Just look him up. You'll see this wild range of people that have involved him in their music one way or another. Now, he did take a break from the 80s till a little bit earlier, But it's just one of those things that happens. Life will get in the way and things happen. And he re-emerged, I guess, a few years ago. If you recall, about 4 years ago, I started playing, I think it was called Fresh Bear Tracks, because I didn't know anything about him at the time, but I soon found out. And if you look at the list of people that jumped at a chance to play with him, it is quite amazing. But anyway, he's a fantastic singer because he has that unique DNA. You can pick it out, as well as, a good vocal space that he fills. Super keyboard player, and he writes terrific songs. He's got a new album out, and that's what we're going to be celebrating. It's, I would say, very involved in you. I think there's a lot of music here that you can really relate to today. Just as a human, you don't have to be a music fan. That's just, something that will happen, and probably why it's called the way of the world. It's the stuff that's about today, and I think you'll grab it. Very cool stuff. I'm going to step backwards and play his music now so that you have an oral idea of what we're talking about. He completely reinterpreted one of my favorite Zombies songs. And as it was Colin Blunston's birthday recently, why don't we share with you what T-Bear did to that on the last album? And then you can get to listen to what he has to say coming up. Super interesting, funny guy. Join me shortly for T-Bear.
Well, it's Good Morning Blues on a Thursday, and as you have been pre-warned, we've got a bear on the phone, Mr. T-Bear from Los Angeles. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, UK Bob.
It's a great
privilege. Cats and kittens. Yeah.
to have a chat with you, one of the more interesting people that I wanted to say hello to. And 2 years ago, you were a stranger to me until I tripped over Fresh Bear Tracks, which we played earlier in the show. Mostly because I'm a Zombies fan. You did a superb cover of She's Not There and totally changed the song. And that made me listen to the rest of it. So there you go.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thanks. I was a Zombies fan, so we have that in common.
Yes. But I apologize. Until then, not a clue. And we don't want to. Okay. We're not to go back to 70s disco because I don't think anybody wants to know what we think about that. But anyway, the new stuff, rather good, my friend, and some superbly written songs. And I've explained to people that I know you better as a singer and a songwriter and a guy from the 88s that will probably play different sets of keyboards all over the place, along with everything else you've done. This time, I guess the difference is a little bit more stripped back. I think it gives a better focus on the content, but it sounds like you had fun making it.
Oh, I had a ball making it. I enlisted Lawrence Juber, a Brit who played in Wings for a while, and I used to go over to his house and just lay down some piano tracks with a vocal. And, it was the tail end of COVID, so everybody was keeping them themselves. And we'd put the piano track down, and he'd send it over to Tony Bronicle, who also co-produced the album. Right? Tony produced Fresh Bear Tracks, by the way, and he also co-produced The Way of the World. And he'd go to, send the tracks over to his house. He had his drums that were set up in the living room. He'd put it down, and then we'd send it over to a bass player up to his house or whoever was on the road that could play bass for us, Hutch Hutchinson or Ricky Cortez. And then we'd, put a vocal on, and Lawrence would put the guitars on, and I'd go to somebody's house, whoever had the best vocal mic, in town on that day. I'd go to their house and lay a vocal down. And so that's how the record was done. It was kind of done a little bit at a time, and sonically, it really sounds very retro and very good. And we wanted to keep it kind of really stripped down. As Fresh Bear Tracks was a full-on production, but The Way of the World was pretty much stripped down. with the exception of 2 tracks that came from Fresh Bear tracks, This Bird Has Flown and They Can Kill You. Those were 2 songs that didn't make Fresh Bear tracks that we used on this album.
That's one of the things that I liked. Is it's weird for me. I love brass. I'm a fan of horns and pretty much everything, and that's what you took away. I heard from Fresh Bear tracks to Way of the World, and I think it allows more focus on the individual player. The title track for me is the song, if you like. It's not always, but in this case, that piano groove and the guitar, the way it comes in, the lyrics and the content, resonates today, I'm sure, with a lot of people in a lot of different situations. Just the way that it all flowed along, I mean, it was just super cool to be able to roll that out. And is it the first track on the album? Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, it's the first track on the album, and actually, every track on this record, The Way of the World, is an homage to someone or something. And that particular track, The Way of the World, the first one on the record, came about because I was listening that week to Bob Dylan all week, Blood on the Tracks, a bunch of his records. The times they are changing, and I was like, looking at the world the way it was kind of the tail end of COVID, and all this crazy, nutsy stuff was going on, and after listening to Bob Dylan, who's one of my favorite writers, I was thinking, what would Bob write today? So I sat down and came up with, because I usually write the lyrics first. They come out as a poem or a short story, and then I put them to music. And I was like, what would Bob write today? And I'm writing down, shucks, never, politicians.
No, I love all the individual pieces. This is similar to each punchline, so to speak, which all flows, is something like my friend Pete Brown would like to throw in, although he'd screw it up by singing off key on purpose and stuff like that. But that's what he was like, and that's how I felt about the content, which is why I loved that immediately, and obviously delved right into the rest of it. Now I know Tony, last time he and I were together, he was on a Cray tour. It's a picture of the 2 of us in a blues club in New York. I don't know why. We were leaning in one of those curved love chairs, leaning into each other in an odd pose, I think, somewhere. But is he still your manager?
Tony helps me out, but he's really basically, a co-producer with Lawrence Juber now. That's the team, and he also plays drums in my band. So it's Tony, Lawrence on guitar, Tony on drums, and Ricky Cortez on bass, and Ricky comes from John Mayall's band. That's the band we have. And Tony, advises. He's kind of an advisor to me. I'm actually out there looking for a manager right now.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I was okay till you said the word good.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't he in Woodland Hills?
He lives in Studio City.
Oh, okay.
Which is not far from Woodland Hills.
So you guys are reasonably close, yeah.
Yeah, we're like, I don't know. In LA, you can be 8 miles away from somebody and take an hour and a half to get there in LA. But honest to God, it's the truth. But he just lives right over the hill.
Yeah, it's easy. People talk about the 405 and traffic, and I'm sorry, I don't consider that traffic. Yes, it's busy and it's full, but they're all grooving along at 30, 40 miles an hour, and they are so much more polite than cars going around 285 in Sandy Springs. Let me tell you, if you want to move in, they wave you. Yes, please move in. You try and do that on 285, you'll get shot on the road.
I lived in Sandy Springs for a little while. Yeah, and I was living there with Al Kooper when he.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when he had a record company called Sounds of the South Records, and the first band he signed was Leonard Skinner to the label, and I was hanging out with him in those days, and Sandy Springs and Atlanta was a lot different in those days. I got to tell you.
Well, yeah. So
It was not
you were
built up at
here-
all.
If you were here today, you better not do less than 80 miles an hour, or
That's
just
right.
get off the highway.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's play this title track for everybody that we're talking about. Those of you that have jumped in late, we're having a chat with T-Bear out in California, brand new release, Way of the World 2024 on Quarter Valley Records, and it's some groovy stuff, as you are about to hear.
Hi, this is Dana Gillespie from London, England, to tell you about the second best way to wake up. Just tune in to UK Bob and his Good Morning Blues show and feel good for 4 hours on WRFG Atlanta.
Never stop swimming. Riders need a beginning. Cheaters never stop winning. That's the way of the world. Losers need a do-over when they're living in clover. They want it over and over. That's the way of the world. I fold up my past, put it away in the drawer. Got my back up against the wall once more. Evangelists never stop sinning, and politicians never stop grinning. Bill collectors, they never stop sending, and that's the way of the world. Ex-wives never stop spending, hipsters never stop trending. Bankers never stop lending, that's the way of the world. I fold up my past, put it away in the drawer. Got my back up against the wall once more. Models never stop posing. Builders never stop bulldozing. And salesmen, they never stop closing. That's the way of the world. The taxman never stop taking it. Counterfeiters, they never stop faking it. I know it like the back of my hand. I fold up my past, put it away in the drawer. I got my back up against the wall once more. Got my back up against the wall.
The Way of the World, which we described quite a bit earlier, leads off into an album of songs that are threaded but not repetitive, and allows you to go down different avenues for different reasons, and sounds like there was a purpose behind each. And the thing I wanted to know is that I know that you spent time in London. I just don't know exactly where or what you were doing.
Okay. Yeah, I spent some time in London and also in Kent, Bickley, Bromley South for a little while. Yeah. I was up in near St. Albans. I'm working at the Manor a lot, Shipton on Sherwell. And I also had a little place near Pimlico Station at one time. And then this last year, I was in Islington and playing there with Walter Trout in the Islington Hall. And going back there, not too far in the future, probably about 3 or 4 months, I'll be back in England playing the UK with
Funny. Them. I will be at Islington Hall October the 17th, I think, for a reunion that I can't wait for. The Tom Robinson Band redoing the first 2 albums for the first time in 45 years in the exact same place. You may be there the same month.
Yeah, I'll check it out and let you know. Absolutely.
And that's on a WALTER too.
I like that. I like that hall, by the way. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's got a great vibe to it, and I love the area.
So you were into British invasion stuff growing up, right?
Oh my God, was I ever? I was into actually two things. There was a band in Canada that I fell in love with called the Guess Who. And then there was the British Invasion, which I had to get every album that came out. It didn't, if it had UK stamped on it, I bought it. And there was this guy called Nicky Hopkins that I just thought the world of, And there was this band called Procol Harum that I just was blown away by. And in fact, probably on the next album, I'm going to cover Procol Harum's Salty Dog. I've already recorded it. It's in the can. And that should be really fun and interesting for everybody to hear again.
Cool. Hugely popular.
Yeah, it's the British Invasion, kind of caught me by surprise because, we just listened to, I was born in New York City, raised in the Caribbean, came back as a young teenager and, put a band together when I was 12. And, what did we want to play? We wanted to play the blues. We wanted to, we listened to all the Chicago blues and things like that. But when the Brits came over, that was it, man. It was on. It was full on. Everybody wanted to be the Kinks or everybody wanted to be the Stones. It was amazing, And I grew up in Yonkers, New York. And, there was a lot of bands there. And, of all teenagers and high school people. And I remember I lived around the corner from a guy called Joey Kramer, who was the drummer in Aerosmith, and another guy called Steve Tallarico, who's now called Steve Tyler, who was the lead singer. His real name is Tallarico. That's the neighborhood I kind of grew up in, and everybody had a band. It was a big thing, and we all wanted to be Brits. That's all we wanted to be.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Where in the Caribbean were you?
I was in Puerto Rico and Port-au-Prince, Haiti. So I got into a lot of Latin stuff when I was very, very young, and a lot of Creole sounding stuff in Haiti, rah-rah music and things like that. Yeah. And then, and then came back to New York. And as I grew up and got a driver's license, I went to work at a music store in New York City called Manny's Music. And speaking of the British Invasion, one night I got a pass to go down to the Fillmore East from a bunch of guys from a band called the Iron Butterfly. And I went down there because, here I am, a keyboard player, and they have a big hit called In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida with an 11-minute, organ solo, so I had to hear that. And so I go down to the Fillmore East, and I'm sitting there, and there's an opening act. Nobody knows who it is. And the the MC comes out and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome for their second time in the United States, their second night playing from the UK, Led Zeppelin." So Led Zeppelin opened for the Iron Butterfly, and the rest is history.
Didn't you get to sit in with Hot Tuna?
I got to sit in with the Grateful Dead, and Hot Tuna was in that jam, and so was Traffic.
Wow.
At the Fillmore East.
Yeah,
I got
playing at the Fillmore, and you were still a late teenager?
Yeah. I think I was probably like 17 at the time.
Gosh, wild time.
I looked around, and I got to tell you, I looked around, I looked at the audience, I looked at the band, I looked at, the Grateful Dead and all these people and Traffic, and I thought to myself, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. So there was no question from that moment on.
Yeah,
well, I had two choices. I could either play music or go to work for my dad, and my dad was making brassieres. He was a brassiere manufacturer, and I didn't want to do that.
Oh, gosh, you just reminded me of something pretty funny in Atlanta. When I first got here 40 years ago, me and a friend of mine would go hang out in two places to check out the girls. One would be Vinings Village grocery store, where they would be unsuspecting victims on a Friday night coming in from work. And the other was a brassiere store for larger ladies, just hanging around outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Yeah. Well, with the Me Too movement, we can't tell stories that are pretty creepy, but I got to tell you, with my dad owning a brassiere company, I used to like to go down there as a teenager, and the models would walk around, and that was as close as I was going to get to anything, being 14 or 15, and
oh gosh,
it was pretty funny.
Well, let's play some more music while people are trying to control themselves, imagining having a father that was making bras and you had to go see him at work, and there'll be people trying them on. Those of you that are just glued in, we're playing the album Way of the World by T-Bear, who's talking to us from LA. Brand new release on Quarto Valley Records. And we're going to suggest a change will do you good.
This is John Cleary from New Orleans, Louisiana, and you're listening to UK Bob, the Good Morning Blues.
Same
Give something back to your community radio station, the one that gives you over 20 hours of blues every week. This is Walter Trout. Why don't you call us up at 404-523-8989 and make your pledge. Take it to the edge. Give us some money and keep that honey rolling. You got to keep playing the blues, babies, and if you want to hear it, this is the place.
Now go turn it on no fool till the silent cool.
There is a global reconnection with Mother Nature for very practical as well as emotional and spiritual reasons. And this spirit, On the Farm, in association with Level Up Academy, presents a series of classes which are in part practical, skills, and life-changing mindsets to the local community. The summer cohort begins in late June with classes on garden planning, canning and preserving, tincture and medicine making, and a 3-day intensive workshop on earth bag structure building. For more information, including mailing list options, the website is ondafarm.com, ondafarm.com, and Level Up Academy ATL on Instagram. This has been a public service announcement from your listener-sponsored and supported community radio station, WRFG 89.3, WRFG.org.
Now go Tanya, don't no fool when you can't kill soil and cool.
Another track there from the album that we're talking about, Way of the World. T-Bear's telling us some funny stories about stuff he got up to, like we all did as a teenager. I had to publish something on a Facebook page of my employer from many years ago, celebrating the fact that, gosh, I just remembered it was last week that I was hired 50 years ago. In that same thought, and I was 18 or 17 and a bit, I think 18, straight out of college, I was hired, and it suddenly occurred to me, wow, that also means that we celebrate losing my virginity 50 years ago. And it's just like, why do these things come together like that? It's crazy.
I don't know. But a change would do me good.
Yeah, exactly. And a change
would do me good. Yeah. Well, we had to give an homage. Like I said, every song in here is an homage to someone or something, and that one is an homage to Bo Diddley. So we had to show Bo some love, and nobody's done a Bo Diddley beat in a long time. So that's what I came up with.
A great Jamaican pal of mine, Mr. ERROL LINTON, who I go see every time I'm home in London, just dropped a new release last week we started playing where he does a tribute to Bo Diddley, and I asked him, why did that spring up? He's London, Brixton born, but Jamaican heritage. And he said, well, I opened for Bo Diddley at the big theater in France. And it's like, wow, he's one of these people you literally say an overnight success that just took 30 years. I guess he's been trading it forever. And it's now 3 years he's made it. He's being radio played all over London and lots of shows all around Europe. He won the IBC. He came to Memphis 6 months ago to participate. Just groovy blegay, a mixture of blues and reggae, and he's just such a super guy. But he has,
I love stories like that because the people that are doing it for the love of music. That's why they do it. That's why we do it. No one's getting rich. There's the royalties suck. The streaming money sucks. It's harder than Chinese arithmetic, and we do it because we love it. We love making music. There's nothing like it in the world. Nothing like it.
There can't be any other reason. I watched so many people through my life, that I've been playing their music, and the show's called London to Louisiana because I go backwards and forwards between both places to say, I was there, I felt it, I saw it, I know what this is. I'm not just a DJ jukebox, There's information and some feeling and some passion behind why I'm playing this stuff, and I can talk about it. I was in the room. So ERROL was playing at the pub in Brixton, which he does on Wednesday nights for free because that's the hood he grew up in, where the Windrush people landed in the 40s to rebuild London, and there's a big story behind that. And whereas he'll play all these other clubs all over London that you pay good money for, but nobody would think about going to this pub in the middle of a housing estate in Brixton. It's very grey and ominous, scary looking, especially after dark in the winter. But you walk in there, it's completely redone, and he and the boys are playing down the other end too, and it's great fun. And who comes in? Joe Bonamassa. Excuse me, Errol, do you mind if I play a couple with you? It's just too cool to be there when things like that happen.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. I took a hiatus for 20-something years, and raised 3 kids, and then ended up getting divorced and met a new girl. And she said to me, we fell in love, and 2 years later got married. She said to me, "It's time for you to put a band back together and go out and play." So I put this band together called T-Bear and Route 66, and it involved like 10 musicians on stage. Denny Sywell, the founding member of Wings, Lawrence Juber, the guitar player from Wings, a couple of other guitar players and bass players and singers. And, it was like the modern day, I guess, Mad Dogs and Englishmen. And we played every Tuesday night. We had a residency in Woodland Hills at a place called the Write-Off Room. And it was free to get in there. And we played there. There was just a 2-drink minimum for the people that walked in. And, the guy that had the write-off room, he had a lot of money, and he was writing off the expenses of the place. And, for tax reasons, it was his write-off. And, we played there every Tuesday night had a residency, and the place was always packed, and we had everybody in the world come in and sit in with us. One night it was this guy, next night it was Kenny Wayne Shepherd, next week it was this guy and that guy. And, we had a horn section, that came straight out of Springsteen's E Street band, La Bamba and Mark Pender, and the sax player Joe Sublette from, Stevie Ray Vaughan's band, so we had a really cool thing happening. So I love venues like that. I love when things fall together and they're not remarkable. They're extraordinary.
Oh yeah,
that's what they are.
I bet your calendar every Tuesday night was Saturday night, and you couldn't wait for the next one.
Couldn't wait. Yeah, it was the slowest night of the week, and that's the one I chose, and it ended up being their biggest night of the week.
Amazing stuff. And what's happening with Route 66 today?
Today, it's pared down to a quartet. Occasionally we have the horn players come and sit in with us, but it's Tony Bronigal, Lawrence Juber, Ricky Cortez, and myself. We have a quartet, and, we're playing all over, the area here. And, in fact, we're playing this coming weekend at the Mint. And, we play around and have a great time. It's a great band. And the rest of the guys from Route 66 come and sit in with us, from time to time. We had to pare it down because it was just not, economically feasible to have a 10-piece band go on the road.
No, it isn't. And I've seen many great bands had to give up on it, like Paul Young and the Q-Tips, which was a 9-piece in the late 70s through the 80s. Just fabulous stuff. But not everyone can make enough money to get the bus to go play where they're going to play. It's impossible, and that can't be helped. Now, a lot of these songs, you said this was during lockdown, and you've come out with 12, and I bet you've got some
and a bonus song with a Brit
with Paul Rogers.
With Paul Rogers, yeah. He and I sang a song that I wrote called Red Harvest about the Russian invasion of the Ukraine.
Yeah, I knew what it was about, and I knew it was added as a bonus, and I knew it was him, and I wondered why it was titled as a bonus track. Is it because it was last minute, or it just?
Well, it's an interesting story. When Russia invaded the Ukraine 2 years ago, I was watching CNN, and saw this, and I was just horrified by what was going on. And I wrote a poem that night called Red Harvest. And because the Ukraine, of course, is, like a breadbasket for that part of the world, grains and wheat and sunflowers and sunflower oils and all that. And I thought to myself, they're going to just tear everything up. It's going to be a horrific year, and it's going to become a red harvest, not a normal harvest. And so I called Bruce Quarto, my boss over at Quarto Valley Records, who signed me, and I said, hey, I got this poem and I want to put it to music, and can I go in the studio and maybe we can do something for the Ukrainian Red Cross and also the World Kitchen, because they're feeding everybody at the border. And he said, that's a good idea. So I went in the studio, got a hold of Tony and Lawrence and Leland Sklar, the bass player, and a Ukrainian violinist, and we cut the track. And then I called David Crosby, because I had played with Crosby, Stills and Nash and did a bunch of their songs and their records, and did Southern Cross with them. And I called Crosby and I said, hey, I got this song and I want to, do it. And your voice would be great with me. And what do you think? And he says, all right, send me the song. I'll listen to it. And I sent him the song, and 2 days go by and crickets, nothing, and I call him up. I said, did you listen to it? What do you think? He says, I haven't listened to it yet. I'm kind of busy. I won't be able to get to it for another week or two. And I said, okay, Cross, and I hung the phone up. And actually, later that night, I get a call from Paul Rogers, and Paul says, I want to sing on your song. I read the lyrics. Bruce Quarto just sent me the lyrics, and he says, you have a great song. You just were in the studio, and, what do you think? Can I help you with this? And I said, absolutely. So I sent him the music that we cut. I put a, vocal on it, and he sang with me, and it was done in 2 days. And Paul Rogers calls you, you're going to let him sing with you.
Yes,
no
sir.
Question about
Yes, sir.
no
well,
question
you
about
say
it.
that, but your voice is terrific. I can't say I listened to any of the early RCA albums to be able to relate, but you have a very strong voice with unique DNA. I think it'd be very easy to pick you out of a crowd. But also as the songwriter, I think your delivery is going to be usually the most specific, the most on it. And, playing keyboards as well, running it together. I just found everything in content-wise, you sound in terrific form.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm really, at a place in my life where I'm what's the word? I'm confident. I guess that's the word. I'm confident with the way I sing and my abilities. I'm not the greatest singer there's ever been, but it's certainly not the worst. But what I feel I can do is I can, in writing the songs, I feel I can present them with my voice, and it's worked well. It's worked really well. People seem to really like it. And
well, I really enjoyed it. And the only other thing I had on my mind to ask you in the switch from Fresh Bear Tract, where you had this amazing list of A-list groovy guests. I told people earlier in the show when I was talking about you to prep them for this great conversation, I said, this guy had groovy guests on albums long before it was cool to have groovy guests on the album, which everyone's done the last few years. But we're missing one, and I wanted just to mention Mike Finnegan, who I thought was tremendous.
Please, because Mike Finnegan and I met at Electric Ladyland Studios in New York City. I was doing a session with a couple of the guys from the Rascals, and he was down there, doing some sessions with Jimi Hendrix. And then later on, when I met him, doing some sessions with some other people, and Fins and I became really, really close friends. And we were in a couple of bands together. We were in the Stephen Stills band together, and we played in Crosby, Stills and Nash together. And when I got signed to RCA, my first album, Red Hot and Blue, I had a track on there called "Bring on the Night," and he's playing on that with Les Dudek and Elliot Randall and myself and the Brecker brothers. And Finns and I, got along really, really well. I played the piano, he played the Hammond, he played the B3, and we sounded, like peas and carrots. So it really fit. And I got to know Finns over the years, and a better human being. I can't ever imagine anybody else than him. We both were involved in some things, and we gave back to the music community together. We got involved in this thing called MAP, the Musicians Assistance Program, and I was on the board of that. It's now called Music Cares, which is an arm of the Grammys, the charitable arm. And we put a lot of musicians that needed to go into rehab or go into, that had mental health issues. We got them, take care of them. And Finnegan, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't miss him. When I did Fresh Bear tracks, I said, Finns, let's do Bring on the Night again. So it was kind of like a complete circle. My first album, Bring on the Night, Red Hot and Blue. The new album, my comeback album, first track on there, Bring on the Night with Finnegan and me. So it was, it was meant to be.
Yeah, well, sometimes things write themselves, don't they? And my connection is knowing his son, Kelly, who plays with the Monophonics.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a beautiful, beautiful memorial to him. And Kelly gave a great eulogy. And Stills and Crosby were there, and everybody that's played with him was there. It was a beautiful, beautiful memorial. And, what can you say? The man's left a legacy, and we loved him so much. And he's so missed.
Been gone, I think, 3 years this August, and in that last few minutes conversation, there's a very interesting thread in there. Talking about your voice, I was about to remark that I would say the same thing as I do about Boz Scaggs. To all you Boz Scaggs fans, I'd say we celebrated his 80th birthday last week and played some stuff on the radio. I said, but this guy's voice has settled into the most unique DNA of delivering a sound. Yeah, okay, it's a little more jazzy and a little more low-key versus, the big hit stuff that maybe other people like, but what a tremendous voice for a man of his years. And, of course, the piece that I decided to play was a bootleg I got in Singapore of the Boz Scaggs band playing just as they were about to run around promoting the first album at a place called Richard's Cafe in Atlanta, where they were opening for an Southern American band. It was the opening act, where they had Les Dudek on guitar. So what a strange connection, how you punched in some of those spots. That makes it all so worthwhile. They did Mercury Blues. It's the only known recording of him doing it. They played it live. And Les is still around, would you believe, playing in Florida somewhere.
Yeah, he's still touring. Absolutely, absolutely.
So, as far as travels, should you be in Sweden, be very careful with your name. There is a groovy band called T-Bear and the Dukes of Rhythm.
I've heard that. and I made a deal with them. I said, look, you can have all of Sweden. And I can have the rest of the world. The rest of the world. There you go. Okay, deal done. Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna play one last track as I fade out. We're gonna warn people that Dying on the Dotted Line. My interpretation was considered the correct one. That this is a sort of a love song. The great percussion, by the way. But yes, it's a marriage certificate. So I always warn everybody to think twice because I've done it 3 times. It took me the third time to get it right. So there you go.
Time's a charm, my friend.
Oh yeah, trust me. I tell all my friends that all men are stupid until they're 45. You all need 2 starter wives. You know?
Exactly right.
Super. Thanks for the wonderful conversation. Those of you that missed it, it'll be on YouTube or on the archive on WRFG.org tomorrow, listening to T-Bear talk about this great new album of his, Way of the World. And so much fun chatting to you. Thanks for your time, sir.
Excellent. Good to hang with you.
Hi, this is Solomon Burke, and I'm riding the blues train on Radio Free Georgia. Soul sounds, rhythm and blues, everything you want to know about the news. It's on the Soul Train tonight.
Funding
the
for
Blues
this
Train.
program is made possible by listeners like you and the following sponsors. From July 12th to the 14th, Mainline Magazine presents Mainline Music Fest in conjunction with the Summer of Resistance. The first performance on July 12th at Factors in Little Five Points features Ivy Soul, Often, Ashe, and DJ Dimebag. Doors at 8:30. On July 13th, in celebration of the birthdays of Mainline and WRFG Atlanta, tonight's performance at Star Community Bar will benefit the 2 independent media organizations in service to our community. This includes performances by All the Saints, Gais Guevara, Philip Frobos, and more. Doors at 7:30. The last performance on July 14th at the ERROL in East Atlanta Village features Southern Fried Queer Pride's drag show, Y'all, Small, and more. Doors at 4:30. For more information, including tickets and full lineups, the website is linktree.com/mainlinefest.
Before I play the last batch of new songs to round out the show, I didn't have time for the birthday run through last week, so we're going to get 2 weeks worth now. Let's see. There were so many. I only keep the ones that I think are relevant, or maybe the ones I like. I don't remember how I make the decision. Anyway, Georgie Fame, one of my piano heroes, was 83. Arthur Brown, as in Fire, was 82. Eddie Floyd was 87. And I was going to play something to do with Knock on Wood. I'll come back to that. Colin Blunstone of the Zombies was 79. Mick Fleetwood was 77. Ray Davies of the Kinks is 80. Jeff Beck would have been 80. Todd Rundgren, who's still here, 76. Debbie Harry of Blondie, 79. That's disco, by the way, Blondie. You can fight me on that. Stanley Clarke, 73. And Bill Withers, the tremendous Bill Withers, would have been 83. The only funny one that stands out, not somebody I would normally reference to, but Kurt Cobain's partner, Courtney Love, was 60 day before yesterday, and remains to this day the only AOL subscriber to be shut down for death threats made to those that she thought deserved them. Oh, such crazy stuff. Oh, well, there is a lot of crazy stuff out there. One of the crazy things that my dad used to say still makes me laugh, because I don't know what he really meant by it, but you could apply it to so many things. I think he had a little picture on his desk once, and he said to me, "Never rub another man's rhubarb." And it says, "Words to live by." Use it as you see fit. Let us go up to New York City to catch somebody brand new.
Was at the Whiskey a Go-Go in the long ago-go, at the dawn of the digital age. Like I said, it was at the Whiskey a Go-Go when I first heard her singing on the stage. It was pretty and pink. She had a license to kill. A billionaire daddy in the Hollywood Hills. It was pretty and pink. She sang like a dream. She's the crime scene queen with a laser beam. honest wind began to blow.
The FELIECE brothers doing Crime Scene Queen from New York. That would be the biggest crime scene you could imagine, right? And then RONELL Johnson, I love a trombone, especially from New Orleans. Sunny Side of the Street, from the album Instant Rue. That's pretty new. He's kind of groovy. We are going to slide into a B3 and guitar player who's kind of groovy, more on the jazz end, but super high quality. And his most recent thing is the Bobby Brown Organization. And all I could think of was an older British act. So actually, a couple of them, they used to put the word organization at the end. See if you can think who I'm talking about, but have a listen to this.
Just for you on your birthday, we love you very much, so have a funky.
Hello, WRFG family. Exciting news. Saturday, July 13th from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m., the family is celebrating WRFG's 51st anniversary, turning our attention to the air shifters that have not only shared their voices with us locally in Atlanta, but also across the globe for the past 51 years. There'll be tons of food, fun, family, and funky stories, including more surprises on the way. So stay tuned and join us Saturday, July 13th at the CWA Local 3204, located at 279 Logan Street, Southeast 30312, from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For more information, the website is wrfg.org. See y'all there.
Janice and Sarah, who emailed me to say, Bob, you're talking about the Graham Bond organization. Yes, I am indeed. Crazy, crazy act. I had so many tremendous, well-known people in it. The guy became a bit of a nutter, went off the rails, literally. The wife that he hooked up with was into Ouija boards and stuff like that, and he threw himself under a tube station. Of course, it would be up north, near Arsenal, typical, right? Anyway, we've got time now. Oh, sorry, the band was indeed the Bobby Broom organization. Tremendous guitar player. They did Layla and Superstition, blended together, very groovy. Live, by the way, live recording. They're that good if you get to see the Bobby Broom organization. I got time to wrap up with 3 more songs. No more chat. Albert Castilla, great new album. Played it last week, and I play a bit more next. Followed by Els Bailey, fabulous British lady who's very, very popular. And closing with Rick Estrin. See you next week.
Path to righteousness ain't so damn easy. In this world you do the best you can. The willingness to spar with life's obstructions can break the back of an ordinary man. Push myself one way or another, helping out my sister and brother. It's time to find that center line, find peace of mind through the center line. You give yourself and not give yourself away, and mindfulness will come to you someday. Beware of vicious minds and evil forces. Don't hesitate and rise above the fray. Head forward and don't look back. Get the love back on the track. It's time to find that center line. Find peace of mind through the center line. You don't have to be a hero every day. Just try to give a little more than you take away. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the face in a lineup that I'll never forget. You pull my strings like a marionette. You've got the touch that I never thought I'd ever regret. It kinda stings, but baby, it's true. And you thought I'd stick around forever now. I know you did, but ooh, in your story I will be the one who got away. 'Cause if this is love, sweet, sweet love, oh, if this is love, yeah, oh, if this is love, why do you like, oh, if this is love, then I don't wanna love anymore. Tired of you running, so I think it's time I even the score. Throw in the towel and all I adore. I can't unsee that there's nothing left of me anymore. I feel the sting in facing the truth. And you thought I'd stick around forever. No, 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 I know you did, but ooh, in your story I will be the one who got away. 'Cause if this is love, sweet, sweet love, oh, if this is love, yeah, oh, if this is love, what it feel like, oh, if this is love, I don't wanna love anymore. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, we'll have you playing Russian roulette with your breath, baby. But when I look back on you, I know that I dodged a bullet.
Hey, whatever I got left to say probably ain't that important anyway. And most of the folks I used to know, they split the scene a while ago. I guess I better pack my stuff, 'cause it's time to wrap this show. But man, I sure don't want to go. Come on, kid. All you people sure been nice, but I learned a long, long time ago. You don't want to make the people happy.